I can understand if I was drunk and wild came out of my mouth and I got activated, but like completely sober and me having a phenomenal memory, like I know exactly what that conversation was. I can repeat it to you verbatim, and I never at all ever asked her if she was romantically involved with Carl.
Well, I am so excited for this season. But before we talk about Summer House, I have to get a wedding planning update. I think, Lindsay, the last time we spoke, you were just about to meet with like wedding planners. So did you guys pick a date? Did you say yes to the dress? Whatever you can tell me, let me know.
So yeah, we're like this close to finding the venue and the date and like signing a contract. That should happen probably this week or next week. So I can't like officially say anything yet, because until anything is signed, you know how that goes. And then dresses, I've been trying on dresses. This week is a little busy, so I think I'm going to pick that up maybe next week. And I found a couple that I really, really like, but I just want to be sure. So that's where I'm at with that.
Nice. So, I'm sure it's like a whirlwind. Planning a wedding is not easy, especially filming and everything like that. And I know you guys are living together now. So what's been the best and maybe most challenging part about living together?
Ooh. Wow, great question. Challenging, best and challenging.
She's my best friend. So, living together, it's fun. Like, it's fun. Like, we get along, we get along very well.
Carl's easygoing. Like, he's just like very much, like he loves to just go with the flow, right? So like he's so easy to live with. He's also the cleanest guy I've ever met, which is very helpful. And like whenever I need to talk about something, he's right there. Like, I'm like, Carl, like, what are you available on this day? Can we do this? Like, can we book plane tickets here? Whatever, it is that I need to talk to him about. He's just like right there to talk to. I think challenging for me is like when we do fight, like we do live together. So there's nowhere else to go. And I think that is part of, every couple's journey when they first move in is like, dealing with that and getting over that hump. But I don't know. What do you have to say, sir?
It's not necessarily a challenge, but I think, like who's going to cook dinner tonight, or who's, who cleans up like the apartment, or, certain just, I think day-to-day stuff around the apartment sometimes can be like, just a challenge, because you're like, wait, I vacuumed last yesterday. Like, why aren't you vacuuming? Or, I cooked dinner the last 2 nights. Like, just kind of domestic things I think most people encounter. But we have an amazing apartment, which you'll see on this season, which is, I think, really what helps. Like, we have an amazing foundation where lots of sunlight. We're very happy. There is a lot of space, but yeah, when we get into fights, it does make it a little
There's nowhere to go, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited about this season. I watched the first episode, and kind of right off the bat, there's some tension, there's some drama. I know, Lindsay, I think you said that you felt like this summer was going to be where everything was on you. Did you feel like that happened?
No, I don't necessarily feel like the whole summer was on me, but there is a tendency to blame a lot on Lindsay. I just like have that kind of face where you're like, oh, it's Lindsay's fault. I think that comes with the territory of being a strong girl. I can handle a lot. But no, I wouldn't say everything was on me. I do think that there are a lot of times where people might not care to get my side of a story, or give me the benefit of the doubt in an argument. But yeah, it's like, it is a little exhausting after, the last couple of seasons of Summer House and then Winter House. And you're just like, why does everyone blame everything on Lindsay? So I don't know. You'll still see some of that, of course, because that's just the nature of this group. But I do think other people are gonna, have to own up to their own behavior.
Yeah, we kick off with some tension before we even went into the house with you and Maya. So what was it about that text that rubbed you the wrong way? And, did you feel like you spoke to her in a way that was, like she said, not human?
No, like not at all. That was just not at all what happened. We were in the back of a car finishing Family Feud, and on the way back to our hotel, it was like a 5 to 7 minute drive. It was a really short drive. She mentioned that she texted Carl to hang out. I then was like, well, do you think that maybe you should have like talked to me? Like I'm sitting right in front of you and you're telling me you're texting Carl to go hang out with you. It's like like we're all here together. It's a little strange. And then I had brought up something that she had said to me a month before that had rubbed me the wrong way. And so it was just a very like adult, normal, calm conversation. I was 4 months sober, had not drank anything for 4 months. It's the middle of a day on a weekday. And like, I did not raise my voice. I asked a lot of questions. Maybe her experience was that she felt uncomfortable because I called something out where I'm setting boundaries for myself and in my relationship. I think my directness catches people off guard, and that can make people uncomfortable if they're not prepared for it. So maybe that's what happened, but no. I did not raise my voice at all. I'm actually have a higher tone, right now. And I don't know, I just did not expect like me having a, calm adult conversation would ever turn into some exaggerated, blown up, story that is just so out of proportion to what happened. Right. But listen, you'll see Maya and I hash it out, right? Maybe in the second episode, possibly. So we hash it out and then we move on. And to be honest, like, I think in that conversation, we learned a lot about each other, and she was there not only for me this summer, but for Carl. And I think I really appreciated her friendship and her, her just ability to be neutral in a situation. Instead of doing the whole let's blame Lindsay, she would ask me, let's get your side of this. So I really did appreciate that about her. And we're, as far as I know, Maya and I, like, we're good with Maya. I'm good with Maya, and she's good with us as far as I know right now.
Right. As of today, at this moment. So we don't think Maya is romantically interested in Carl, right, Carl?
No. And I never said that. I said, what? Like, literally, again, I can understand if I was drunk and wild came out of my mouth and I got activated, but like completely sober and me having a phenomenal memory, like I know exactly what that conversation was. I can repeat it to you verbatim. And I never at all ever, asked her if she was romantically involved with Carl. She had a boyfriend at the time. Like, I would never in my life think that if someone has a boyfriend that they're romantically into my boyfriend, like ever. I just assume if you have a boyfriend, you don't care about mine.
Right. Carl, did you question the text when you got it at all? Did you think it was a little?
I thought it was weird for sure. I mean, I didn't actually respond. I waited because I was in a separate car leaving Family Feud with Andrea and Alex, and I was driving back and I got the text and I was like, this is a little weird. Like she's in the car with Lindsay right now, like
texting him to hang out. It was not like all of us.
It was a little weird, but I bonded with Maya the previous summer. We had a friendship, we still do, but I mean, we would text here and there, but we didn't like hang out like outside of the house unless it was with other people. Like we had 2 different group outings in the fall last year. We were friendly. We would text here and there, but it was just a weird situation. I felt like, Lindsay obviously has my best interest in trying to communicate, and I appreciate that. And, I like she said, I mean, Maya was very supportive of us towards the end of the summer in some situations, which really meant a lot. And I think that brought us, closer. And, we loved Maya. I think it was just kind of an awkward moment.
Yeah. I'm glad everybody's in a good place. Speaking about maybe being in a good place, maybe not, there's still some tension with you and Kyle, especially when you guys come into the house this summer. And, he said that he could hardly recognize you both personally and professionally. So hearing that, how does that make you feel?
I mean, trust me, it's hard to watch that and kind of hear his side of things on professional stuff, because I'm very confident in what I've brought to the table for the business. And sure, I mean, Kyle he's a He's a successful guy. He's very smart. He works really hard, but he does have his opinions and feelings about the business, and I can respect that. But, you know, to hear that I'm checked out or changed because I'm in a relationship, I mean, it seems a little unfair. I've spent the last 3.5 years giving my all to Kyle and the business. I'm very proud of everything I've done, and we've worked really, really hard, and that's what Kyle demands. And, you know, I've traveled to a lot of cities over the last 3.5, a lot of places Kyle's never stepped foot in. And not only was I working during the day, phone calls, Zooms, all sorts of things, but I also would set up events and go to those events myself. And, you know, I get that there's ways to be concerned about me and there's ways to like handle it. And I don't love having to kind of relive watching that, I guess. But I mean, going into the summer, I had my own feelings about where I was at with the business and my career trajectory. And like, at the end of the day, is this the best thing for me? You know, I haven't had a drink in, at that point, you know, 1.5 years, and working at an alcohol brand, it didn't feel like it aligned authentically for me. Here I am at a bar promoting the brand and not drinking it. So there was a lot of confusion about where I should go moving forward. And also our relationship, I can see why people might be like, oh, I have a loving partner who wants the best for me. And she was very supportive, and she was urging me to talk to Kyle about some of my frustrations. And I did. And, you know, I think you'll see how it plays out throughout this summer. I mean, ultimately, Kyle and I are friends. Mm-hmm. I want the best for him. I want his success and I want his happiness, but I also had to really look myself in the mirror and kind of decide, you know, what's best for me and what's best for my career. Mm-hmm. But most importantly is I want to get back to that friendship with Kyle, because the business is overshadowed that. It's taken a huge back seat, and that's on both sides. It's not just one over the other. So I don't know. It's frustrating. You know, I've been very supportive of Kyle, and, you know, throughout his ups and downs, I've always been a team Kyle. So to hear otherwise, sometimes it's hard, but, you know, I want to move forward and not necessarily focus too much on the past. And like I said, I'm very proud of what I've done at Loverboy, and anybody who questions it's kind of sad, honestly. Yeah. So if you know the business and you know me, I've been a very big part of, you know, what's gone on. It's obviously been a team effort, but I've worked really hard for, you know, the business, and I'm very proud of it.
Right. Do you feel like you can get back to that friendship that you had? And Lindsay, even you with Amanda, do you feel like, and do you want to?
I mean, I 100% think I can get back to that place with Kyle. It's going to, you know, Kyle turned 40 this past summer. I just turned 38 last week, or 2 weeks ago. And, you know, we're both growing up, and I'm engaged. He's married. And, you know, naturally there's going to be some evolution with the friendship. We're not taking our shirts off and blacking out every weekend like we used to 6-7 years ago. And I want to find a healthy place for us as friends. I think we'll find that. But working with your friend, I mean, this is like a warning and it's a disclaimer. Working with your friends is really, really hard. I think we knew that. We built a business that literally exploded over the course of 2-3 years, and it's hard. But I think, you know, we had dinner the other night. You know, I love the guy. Like, you know, he's got that charm, and, you know, he's got a just an energy that people want to be around him, and I love being around Kyle. I care about him and I love him. But it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna navigate it the best we can, and I'm gonna lean on Lindsay, you know, more than ever this season, just for love and support. But a little
I know, Lindsay, people have had so many questions about what happened with you and Danielle. And, you know, I'm sure over the course of the season, we're going to find out what happened. But I know that she says in the trailer that you getting engaged to Carl would be crazy. I mean, why did she have such reservations about you guys taking the next step?
I don't know. And like, I also look forward to figuring that out along with you guys, the viewers, because I spent my entire summer like just very, very confused. You know, since the onset of Carl and I dating, Danielle, like, I think maybe was a little taken aback by that and she was very hesitant about me dating Carl again. And she wasn't very supportive at all, like in that, you know, those first moments and those first months. And then I think she slowly started warming up to it, and then, you know, maybe got a little bit more comfortable, and then she felt better about it, and then got more comfortable with like okay, this is happening. And, which is totally fine. Like, we were the Tres Amigos. We were three best friends. That's obviously going to be weird for her, of any people, for Danielle. And I was very understanding of that, but also, this is what is happening. This is where my life is going. And this is like, what I've been searching for my entire life in a romantic partner. So I think like towards the spring, we were on the same page. We went on Watch What Happens Live, and she was like, oh, Lindsay and Carl are definitely the next to get engaged. It seemed like she was very, very supportive of us walking into summer. And when all of a sudden that didn't happen and her dialogue became like the opposite of that, basically, I was like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. Like, I am just so confused where this is coming from and why, and like also hurt. And it just kind of continued from there for the entire summer. And I also am looking forward to like trying to figure that out, because I spent, the majority of my therapy sessions every single week during the summer and into the fall, like really, and even now still trying to just like sort through this in my mind as far as like what happened and like, why was she so opinionated about our relationship, So I guess I'll find that out by watching. And yeah, like, I don't know. It was not, I would never have guessed that this is where our friendship would have ended up.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like people were getting in her ear? And do you, like she says in the show, do you feel like this is beyond repair at this point?
Over summer, at that point in time, like when we got engaged and the way that she reacted, it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because it was like all summer I'm listening and hearing all these things that she's saying and about me and us and hurtful things. And then we got engaged, and then the way that all went down was just like, all right, like enough. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think anything is ever beyond repair, ever, like in life. I don't think any relationship, unless it's like extremely abusive, is beyond repair. So, no, I don't think I would say that. But I do hope that, we can understand each other maybe from watching the show. And it's going to suck. And this is going to be a really difficult, watching those scenes are probably going to be the most difficult for me. And I'm dreading them. Absolutely. Because it's like it was hard to live, and now it's really hard to relive too.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that each of us can hear each other through the television and see the other person's perspective, because we certainly weren't doing that this summer.
Yeah. Have you spoken since the summer, really?
I mean, I saw her at BravoCon. Right. Mm-hmm. I was cordial. I said hello. I gave her a hug. Same with Robert. But no, I haven't seen her since. We were traveling so much this fall, which is what normally happens in the fall. And then, we're busy right now planning a wedding, and, she's busy with whatever she's busy with. So I think it's still okay. Like, I still need time to process.
Yeah. Like you said, this is going to be a really hard summer to relive. Also, a lot of highs with the engagement and things like that, but also a lot of lows with some friendships. Is Summer House still for you guys? Do you want to continue doing it next year?
I mean, can I say this without getting in trouble? I mean, there is no Summer House without Carl, Lindsay, and Kyle. I mean, that's where it all began.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're gonna have like babies and be going back to that summer house. Are you kidding me?
I mean, we don't know what else we would do in the summers. I mean,
well, it's what we were doing before the show.
Before it became a show, and we have a lot of friends out there, and those friends have now gotten married or have kids, and like, there's still a world where like the Hamptons are fun and exciting for people like us now. Blacking out till 6 a.m. like we did seasons 1 through 5, maybe not the same, but also let's be honest, like we're growing up, and like I'm 38, Lindsay's 36. At some point, you want to
I don't
more adult things, but I think you'd still do that and have fun in the summer.
I don't think you as a viewer even want to watch us do that, but I think you do want to watch us get married and have a baby and see what that's like. So, that's kind of that's my publicist is going to kill me right now, but like, that's up to the network to decide, like, how they want to incorporate our life moving forward into this show.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think we're both very hopeful this show will continue to grow with us. Mm-hmm. I know we've had new friends and people come and kind of graduate or whatever. But no, I mean, I'd like to think there's a world where we can still have a good time and be a big part of it and have it evolve with us. I mean, this season you'll see some, Sam and Gabby who are a little younger and maybe a little more energetic and single, and Chris who's single, and you have the earlier elements of Summer House kind of mixed with, Kyle and Amanda now married, Carl and Lindsay, in a serious relationship, and Paige and Craig are in a relationship. Like there's a lot of balance, I think, and I think it could still exist. And I don't know. Yeah.
By the way, we're not the only ones who don't party like after midnight or whatever. There's a lot of folks in that house that go straight to bed, and that's the end of it.
I don't know how they do. I don't know how you guys rally like that. I'm exhausted watching it. Like, it's amazing.
We've got a fifth and sixth gear.
Sure.
But I think, remember, like I think a lot of us, Kyle, Lindsay, and myself for sure, really have seen, like, this is such an amazing opportunity and to let loose and have fun, but tell our stories and grow and build friendships and relationships. Like, we don't take that for granted. And we didn't go into season 1 thinking this was going to last 7 seasons. Let's be honest.
I was just trying to pay off my student.
We're just trying to have a fun summer and get through the weekend, let alone multiple seasons. So I just feel like we've always been very lucky and don't take it for granted. And we give it everything we have every single summer. And we're very fortunate to be able to keep doing it.
Definitely. Last question, because I know I'm running out of time. Carl, how did you feel about Lindsay deciding to, drink again this summer? And did you guys have a discussion before that? And what was that like for you?
I mean, first and foremost, I just want to say, like, it's been amazing having a partner and a friend and a lover who has been very understanding and accommodating and supportive. I've put her, it's not easy to be in a relationship with someone who has the challenges that I have. And I forget that sometimes. And she's given so much to our relationship and to what's important to me. And for her to, take a break from drinking for the fall and the winter last year and into the spring was massive for me. I mean, it was really, really powerful for her to do that. And also, I think she saw some things in herself too that helped her understand her relationship with alcohol and how she does things. And I've always wanted her to do what's best for her. And honestly, her having a glass of wine with her aunt or having a lover boy with whoever, I fully support that. And I think it's all about communication and understanding, what works for each other. And it's a constant conversation. We've met a lot of couples who one person's sober and the other person's not. But it's a tough position for her to be in. And for me not to judge her if she has a couple. And I've had to do a lot of work, and I'm still working on how we navigate it.
And also what makes each other comfortable, right? And I think like you do see that in this season. Like there's a lot of like, okay, in the past, if we have a party that starts at 3 p.m., I am like drinking rosé until like midnight, and then I wind up getting activated, but I also want to respect that my partner is sober and doesn't drink. And like, if I get activated because I'm drunk, he might have a harder time like wanting to even defend me. So, it was a lot of like compromise and communication and just respect surrounding levels of drinking for me, and like making sure he's comfortable, because there was times like we would go into a party and I'm like, let me just like have some NA beers with him, until like, and then like I'll throw in a glass of rosé in between or whatever. So it really is like, what we both feel comfortable having. Like that is one lifestyle that we differ on. So it's just a lot of compromise.
Definitely. Well, Carl, Lindsay, thank you both so much for taking the time. It's always so great catching up with you guys, and I cannot wait for the season. It's going to be a great one.
Thanks, Christina.
Great
Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah,
bye.
Bye.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.